So if everyone is not aware, it is or was high school reunion season. So my high school is, I don't know, fucked up because we were supposed to have a 5-year, that's what you're supposed to do. But when we were supposed to have our 5-year, your class president's supposed to arrange the whole thing. He was in Israel on a pilgrimage, and he was not available. So we didn't have one, but then 2 years later, the former captain of our high school football team decided we should have a 7-year reunion. So, yes, he arranged, he picked this place. I'm from West Hartford, Connecticut, and there's a bar called the Russian Lady that has a back room that you can rent out for apparently 7-year reunions. So he made everyone pay $30. It was an open bar, and I, at the time, had a job that was pretending to be a real job, but I was like making minimum wage. So I wasn't particularly happy about where I was in life, but I thought, you know what, I'm gonna be super classy at this reunion. I was not particularly popular. By the way, I have a theory that you can tell if anyone your age now, if you see them with like their high school friends and they're all very good looking, it means they were popular. That's my theory. No, it's a fact. So yeah, I went with my best friend to my 7-year reunion, and I decided, I was like, I'm gonna be really classy. I'm only going to drink white wine, which is, the classiest you could get. And and I knew there was going to be food there, but I didn't eat dinner because I thought I was just going to eat all the food that was there. So I had a salad before I got there. Then we get to the Russian Lady. There were a few chicken fingers left, and that's it. And then I started drinking white wine like water, and came up with some really great plans as to like how I was really gonna make up for lost time. Meaning talking to everyone that wouldn't give me the time of day in high school, and which devolved very quickly after like 4 glasses of white wine into me pointing at any jock that I went to school with and going, "You didn't talk to me! You didn't talk to me!" And then I would give them my phone number. Didn't get any calls, shockingly. And then, our gym teacher was our sex ed teacher, and her son was in our grade. And he was such a pervert, and I didn't know if it was like, there was overlap, like, why? Oh, he happens to be a pervert, she was a sex ed teacher. But I walked up to him and I was like, "Your mom taught me all about sex." And then he's like, "Yeah, she taught me about sex too." And then it was just very weird. And then I blacked out pretty quickly. So my best friend had to sort of fill in the blanks for me. But she found me in her, I guess I had taken her car keys, and she found me in her car crying inexplicably, which is what happens when you drink a lot of white wine. I'm sure a lot of us know that. So I wouldn't call my 7-year reunion a success. I thought, you know what, things are gonna be different at my 10-year. And so my 10-year came, snuck up on me very quickly. And when I got that invitation, I was really excited because I had a real job. And that's the thing, I was gonna rub in people's faces, because I wasn't married or carrying a child. And so then, a week before the reunion, I got laid off. And and it was funny because I got laid off and literally I thought about the reunion about 15 minutes after I got laid off. I was on the train carrying my stuff sort of in shock, and then I went out loud on the train, I was like, "My reunion's in a week." And I just started laughing maniacally out loud. I called my best friend. I was like, yeah, I don't have a job. Like, what is the point of me even going to this reunion? Like, everyone's probably successful. And she was like, you know what? Like, it can't be any worse than what you were like in the 7th year. And I was like, you know what? You're right. And also, it wasn't an open bar, guys. And I didn't have a job. So naturally, I was going to be very cheap and probably not even drink that much. So I decided, you know what? I'm going to the reunion. And so I went with my best friend to H&M like an hour before the reunion to get a shirt that I wanted to make me look business slutty. And I think I achieved it. You know, it was slightly see-through with some buttons. And so yeah, I showed up to my reunion with my best friend, and quickly realized, like, yeah, a lot of people had gone on to do some things that made them rich. Like, there were a lot of lawyers there, and doctors, and engineers, and the question came up pretty quickly of what I do, and then I just kind of had this, like, epiphany, and I was like, you know what, when, you know, in life, you know, go after your dream job, go after what you want, and if you can't get it, lie, and say that you're doing all the things that you wanted to do. And that's exactly what I did. I lied to so many people. It was just so easy, like nobody there is even doing anything remotely to what I'm doing. Like no one's doing stand-up or anything, or writing. It's just engineers. I'm not jealous of engineers or doctors. Like, I'm not gonna become a doctor. So my first lie that I went with, I wanted to keep everything very vague so as not to get caught up in a lie. I'm gonna tell everyone you should do this too if you wanna lie. Tell people you work at BuzzFeed. They won't even ask you what you do. They won't. They'll go, oh my God, I love those lists. Those lists are so funny. So I told this bitchy girl who works at Google, and I hate her because she did Irish step dancing and she like was really rich and like, her life's perfect. But I told her that I work at BuzzFeed and she was clearly envious. And then there was this kid that was really, I guess, popular, but he was that kid who was popular because everyone was scared of him because he was big and mean to everyone, and then like everyone would pretend to laugh at his jokes or else he'd like beat the shit out of you. He'd be the guy that like, if you were a guy and he didn't like how tight your pants are, he'd be like, oh, you know, faggot, and then he'd be like, oh yeah, okay, please don't beat me up. So he told me he wanted to become a stand-up comedian. And he's not funny. So I told him that I work in talent. And I was like, you know, I work in talent. So like, you know, why don't you just like do some of your material for me? Like, and like, I'll pass it along. Like, what does that even mean? And he was like, yeah, I'm actually gonna show you on my phone. I'm gonna even pause this recording. It's because it's worth it. Yeah, he told me this joke that I think is just racist. It wasn't even really a joke. He said, Redbox DVD machines remind me of a gynecologist's office on an Indian reservation. Yeah, I don't know. But I was just like, that's, you know what, that's great. I'm gonna pass that on. And felt great. And I only had 2 drinks, you guys, because they cost money. I didn't have a job. So yes, to everyone I would tell you, I think it's 100% possible to have a good reunion. You just lie. Just lie. Thank you.